Hi, Josh. We're back with some more vanilla Minecraft. We're starting up here for the second episode in a row because I want to do something today about this. All of that netherrack behind us is an eyesore, and it has been here for far too long. I think that it's time to get our roads in the works. So, today we are going to focus on building some squid farms there, and then we're going to cover it up and make it look like a city street network. I think I would like to get started over here because this is a nice, straight, broad section of river. And it's right near a whole bunch of our other stuff. We'll be spending a lot of time over here working on village infrastructure in the near future, so it's a good place for us to get set up and guarantee that things are going to be spawning. So, I recently saw a video from Raiseworks. I will make sure that it is linked in the description that shows how to make an axolotl-powered squid farm. Now, it can also be used for salmon because they also spawn in rivers here. So we're going to be doing that. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be covered by road, so it will be completely dark. So there's a solid chance that glow squid will also spawn in here when we're done. Now, his design is about, I don't know, 18 or 20 blocks long by about 8 blocks wide, and the 8 blocks wide is for flowing water. So we're still going to stick with that, but I think that we're going to go in sections of 10, because as he explained in his video, axolotls will move up to 10 blocks to target squid. So if we put a couple of axolotls in each section and only make the sections 10 long, we can make multiple sections, and the axolotls will always be in attack mode. Whenever a squid or a glow squid or a salmon spawns, they'll take care of it. And then all of the drops will wash out to the pickup system that I'll show you. So I'm basically going to start here at this dividing line where, remember, there's no river biome along here until these 2 blocks. So this is a perfect dividing line for one of the sections. And I've already measured, we can fit one section in here, and then we can turn the corner and work our way that direction. So I'll make a couple of sections here, and I'll show you what my plan is, and then I will get to work, and we will see what we can do as far as the pickup system, delivering all of the items to one central repository, and then covering it all over with road. So this is an idea of what the cells are going to look like. I haven't really filled in the walls or anything because I'm not planning on building in netherrack. I'm just using this because it's Instamine. So we've got a cell that is 10 across and 8 deep, and I've offset them because I'm trying to maximize the amount of river biome that we're in. For instance, this one's pushed back far because a lot of this right here is savanna, like a whole lot of it. But most of this is river. And the reason this one is pushed forward is because most of this is river and the savanna starts kind of right there. Also, I'm trying really hard to avoid digging into our zombie spawners, which I know are pretty much down here. The one zombie spawner is right down here. And I like this right here. So I can't go any deeper than that, but that should be fine. We don't need a ton of depth for these, because regardless of how deep it is, we are below the ceiling of where squid can spawn. So they will spawn in this chunk of water, not chunk as in game chunk, but this piece of water. They'll spawn in here, the axolotls will have the chance to kill them, and all of their goods will flow to the collection system that we're going to set up. And I will get that done once I decide how I'm going to set these up insofar as wall construction and making sure that I can deal with the water. But without actually having a finished product to show you, basically how this will work is that this top layer of water, not right here because this is where the road's going to be, but the top layer of water will be flowing. So only the source block right here will be an actual source block. The rest of it will be flowing across. Everything below it will be solid actual source blocks because we want all of the items to flow up into the flowing water. Now I'm going to continue this trend of 10 by 8 cells around the corner. I'm going to probably put 2 in here. I'm pretty sure I can fit 2 in here. And then we'll see if we can fit any over there. Now, as you can see, the river here gets a little bit narrow, so we don't necessarily need to make it 10 wide by 8 deep. We can figure out other creative ways to make the cells of this thing, or we could just fill this in completely and not use this section right here. We could build one right here, and then we could come around and skip this little narrow bit here, and then build another 1 or 2 right there. that is just kind of the plan for how we're going to lay these out. We'll find the wider sections and make them work. All right, I've planned out some of the space, and I've got a solid number of cells. We've got the 4 over here that we started with, and then we work our way up this way. There's 3 here, 1 in this corner. There was a whole lot of awkward space here, so I only tried to squeeze the 1 in. And I was also trying to work with how much river biome I actually had. We've got a couple over here, and then we work our way up this way, going the wide way across, shockingly, because this river was actually really wide over here. And then we've got a little bitty guy over there to fill some space, and then we've got a few over here. I think that is going to be more than enough. And that means that I'm going to need a ton of axolotls, because I want to put at least 2 in every cell. I'd love to put more, but really, 2 is the absolute bare minimum I need per cell in order to keep up with how many squids might spawn at any given time in any given cell. So I'm going to try to get all of this set up. I'm going to work on the collection system, and I'm probably going to have to spend a solid amount of time off camera with an absolute shit ton of buckets just hunting axolotls. Now keep in mind, this is just squid farm planning. This is not the road planning. So I'm going to have to sink this down a little bit and make it work so that we can put our road at this level. I would like to continue the road around this direction and possibly also this direction. And honestly, we've got some really great hills here. I'm thinking about demolishing this one, or at least bringing it down, because we're in a bit of a valley here. And I'm realizing, after all of the times I've said I don't want to fuck with the terrain, I don't want to mess up the terrain, I want to work with it, we can only see so much at a time, and it's going to make it real inconvenient to get around. Especially if we're pretending that this is all road-based, and anywhere we want to go, we got to take a road to get there. So I might demolish about half of this hill, or 2/3 of this hill, and I might leave it a little rise that we can build something on, but I'm not going to worry about that until we get to the point where maybe we want to do something over here, or over in here. So, you know, I'm just warning you now. My intentions are still relatively unchanged. I'm leaving all of this over here. I'm leaving all of this over here. I'm leaving this hill, the hill that we're on, you know, after having made some changes to it already. But this guy is just in the fucking way. So we'll see what happens with that hill. But I am thinking that I would like to bring the roads around that way. So I'm going to get to work on this stuff, and I will fill you in when I make some progress. Looking over this direction, it doesn't look like I've accomplished anything. But let's turn around and see a little bit of progress over here. I haven't completely built any of these out yet because I wanted to show you how I'm going about it. So this is what it's going to look like on the inside when each of these cells is finished. Remember, I said that this is going to be 8 wide so that the water can flow to a good stopping point. But I am putting a wall on the 8th block, so each of these is really only 7 wide. Now I'm making this down a little bit deeper than the actual surface level of the river, because I want to line this with dirt right here at the level of the sandstone, so that we can put the road above it, because we're using concrete powder, if you remember. So this is all going to be completely covered when we're done. This one is not especially deep, because that's where one of our zombie spawners is. But we can make the others deeper, I think, after that cell. So what we've got going on is water source blocks up to the level just below this top gravel here. At the level of this top gravel, we've got flowing water all the way across. Now the way that I do that is by sealing it up with dirt, and then I cover it with dirt at the level of the source block right here so that it all gets flowing, and then I can dig that out, and now it's flowing straight across. Then I'll have to dig out this dirt here and refill it with source blocks. So I just take a bucket and run water along where all this dirt is right now. This is what it looks like before I put in the dirt to create the flowing water. And if you come over here, this is what it looks like before I put in any of the work to bring the level down by 2 in order to make the road. Now I have to go through and fill in all of these areas where we're not going to be building anything, because I don't want squids spawning in here where they're useless to us. And then I have to go in and continue filling in all of the walls of each of these and bringing the level down and building up the collection system. Now, what I've worked out for the collection system, if you saw over here, is that I've got walls that go across so that none of our axolotls or squids can get out. But the items can flow right along this water, hit the wall, and fall down into this water channel. I'll make sure that I put ice in the next block over and put a sign up and then continue the water channel on to wherever it needs to go. I'll have this one come out here to another water channel that goes out to meet where this one comes up. And we're probably going to have the water channels flowing along here so that they're not getting in the way of any of these squid killing cells. The water channel will probably come right along to around here, where this cell and this cell and that cell will all have their collections running out here. We'll run the water right along here. I'm thinking that I'll collect all of the ink from all the cells all the way up here and bring them over to here, and all of the cells over here, I'll bring them around to here. My slightly long-term plan is that, since our spider spawner is right down here, I would like to build like a Fletcher's shop right up here. And then since we've got a little bit of business going on along the road here, I want to build a bit of a storefront here that will be just a small building to hide an entrance that will take us down below us right now to a storage area for all of the squid ink, glow ink if we get it, and salmon, because salmon spawn in rivers too. There's been a ton of them lately, and they're really getting in the way when I'm trying to place blocks. Hopefully the storage area that I want to build isn't going to get in the way of any of our villager infrastructure or transportation routes, because remember, the villager breeder is right over there, and we still need to get other villagers all over here whenever we get all of that set up. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a kind of a in-between stage update so that you could see how I'm building these cells, because once they're built, they're going to be completely sealed up and the road's going to be on top of them. I'm going to get back to work and see how many of these cells I can finish up. Well, I haven't made a whole lot of progress, but look at the subtitle. There is a glow squid in there. So now we know for sure that we will be getting salmon, squid ink, and glow squid ink. And that is fantastic. I don't know what I'm going to do with that much glow squid ink, but it's really nice to know that we'll have another resource rolling in. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work. I just dug out this one a little bit deeper, and you can see right there, this was right on the ragged edge of interfering with the zombie spawner. So I'm glad to know that we're past it now, and all the rest I can dig as deep as I want. While I was working on digging some of these out, and I had a couple covered, some axolotls spawned. And so I put them in buckets and dumped them back out again, because apparently that's all it takes to make sure they won't despawn, because they count as pets then. So I had a couple axolotls here and a couple over here. And this has been happening in both cells. They have been getting caught here, and even when I cheated a bit and gave myself some spawn eggs for squids so that I could test things, and I spawned in some squids, and they can't get out of there. I think the current is making them stick against the walls. So I hit on this idea where I'm putting ice instead of the last block, but then I'm putting half slabs here, which stops the water, but because the ice is there, items still slide over it. It's not a perfect solution, but these guys are not getting caught up here anymore, and these guys have been caught here for quite a while. And it's very frustrating, but, I mean, if I can overcome it with... Alright, well, they're still getting caught, I guess, but because the water's not flowing, they can get back out. So, you know, it's not a perfect solution, and I might even take some of the packed ice I've got and change it to blue ice, because I know that things slide across that faster. But I've been testing it, and I just, like, I tossed a bunch of shit down here at the very bottom, and I let it flow up, and even when it sometimes hits the edge and drops down because it was bobbing at the wrong rate, it still floats back up and gets across the ice. And I haven't seen anything get caught yet, so that's a hopeful sign. Now, I know that things, you know, this is 10 wide, which is not ideal for the water channel, but things are gonna get caught occasionally. It's not going to be a completely lossless farm unless I drop the water channel down and make it flow completely. But I'm not worried about losses because what the hell are we going to do with that much salmon and squid ink and glue ink, you know? So this is going to be fine. I just need to do that for all the cells. I have also started doing something behind the walls because I realized that I'm going to have an entire row of dark blocks where like little verns can spawn and stuff, and I don't want that. So I've started putting in stairs. So I've just grabbed a bunch of cobble stairs, and I put dirt on top of it, and it's working. There's nothing that can spawn back there now, and the walls don't get all knobbly. I was mostly worried about the knobs that walls get when they are against blocks, because I didn't know if that was going to block our items. So, you know, I'm using this method now with the stairs behind the walls and with the ice and upper slabs. And I'm going to do that for all of the cells. And I've got, I don't know, like 2.5 shulker boxes full of axolotls, and I'm still getting axolotls spawning in here. So I have a feeling we're going to end up with more than 2 axolotls per cell, which is great. That's fantastic. That means they'll kill the squid that much faster. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update about the process and how these cells are going to look on the inside when we're done. Is this one of those rare blue ones? I think this might be one of those rare blue ones. Come on, little guy, swim up. I want to see your belly again. Good lord, he won't... Oh, you wait until I swim up so you can swim up? I feel like you're playing me right now. Yeah, it looks blue, right? I don't know, man, I'm colorblind. Anyway, as you can see, I'm placing these guys in here, and then I'm covering it up. So, we're already collecting little bits of fish and squid over in this hole. Let's go check it out. Pretty sure the hole's right over here. And mostly it's just the blocks that I've dropped while I was getting this place set. And it's obviously not a storage room yet. But we're gonna get this place pulled all the way over to here, and then I'm gonna get all of these set up. I haven't built any of them out yet. They're just outlined as you already saw earlier. So I have to dig all of them deeper. I have to get them all set up. But this whole side is done now. So if we take a look from the air, we've got 7 cells that are all raring to go. And hopefully they'll start producing some squid ink pretty soon. You can see my little peeky hole over here. We've got a pretty good view in here to nothing. But, you know, they're busy. They're hanging out. I've been trying to put 3 in every enclosure now, because I realized that as I was covering these, multiples were spawning. And this one, I think, had 3, or maybe not. Maybe I only put 2 in here to begin with. Now, I don't want to say for sure that there were 3 in here before and that one of them died, but it is possible. I think that these idiots can still get up here because they've got such a narrow little hitbox. And not drown, the air version of that. So I think I'm going to have to periodically check back in on these guys. And I think that the best way to do that might be to just come down here and check in. Also down here, I have decided to change things up and do the water channel drop thing. So I've been going through and fixing that up, and oh, that was some squid ink that just zipped by us. I have been going through and covering up the ice and making a single continuous water channel. And as you saw, I'm placing half slabs right here over these. Because at one point, there was a zombie in this channel, and I don't know if he did that at night or if he spawned on the ice. So it's better not to take any chances, so now I'm just, I'm covering up all the ice. And when I'm done with this place entirely, I will come through and, like, cover this entire thing up so that the channel is only 1 deep. Oh, shit, we even got some glow ink. That's fantastic. But I am gonna cover the place up so that nothing can spawn down there. Because I do not want just a bunch of zombies walking around holding ink sacs and never, ever, ever despawning. That does not sound like a good time to me. You may have noticed that I covered all of these places up with netherrack, and that's for a very specific reason. I realized as I was covering the first one up with dirt that as I'm building the road and maybe making changes in the future, I was leaving myself at a massive risk of just breaking into one of these places and then having to, like, fix my mistake. Or wanting to come in here to check on the life of the axolotls and not being able to find them. So I covered them all up with netherrack so that they're easy to find. I'm also thinking that for maximizing our spawn rates, I might dry this place out, this entire river all the way out to, like, that sandbar right there. And just cover it up because our road is going to come through here, so we're not going to see this river anyway. And I don't want a bunch of squid always spawning over here and taking up the mob cap. Also, let's take a quick trip up into the air and take a look at this place from the air. There is a river that goes all the way behind the monastery, and it curves all the way around the side here. And I'm not sure how I feel about drying this place out completely. I love the idea of having the river here. I'm not sure where I want it to end because I have talked about this road coming this direction. So that's something that we're going to need to puzzle out over time because obviously squid can spawn there and that could hurt our mob cap. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about the mob cap because we don't need that much squid ink, do we? But I don't like the idea of needing it and not being able to get it because they're all spawning in the river behind the townhouses. So that's something that I'll toy with in my own mind for a while. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to try to get this side of it done now, and then I'm going to try to get some kind of a storage room set up. I just came in here to sleep away the night while I was working on the water channels, and there are a bunch of villagers missing, including my unbreaking guy and my silk touch guy and my mending guy, like the three most important. I'm not gonna say I kind of feel like crying, but this was a lot of work. This was a lot of grinding to get the guys with the right trades, and I don't know what I did wrong in here. The whole thing is spawn proof and well lit, and maybe I do feel like crying. I'm really bummed out about this. And also, if the whole place was not well lit and a zombie got in and got some of them, why so selective? Should have gotten all of them. I don't know what's going on. Ah! You. Okay, it was a close call. I was about to quit the game for the day, which is saying something because it's pretty early in the day and I was planning on playing like all day, getting this episode finished. I had to just step away for a minute and calm myself and come back and realize it was a very minor explosion. There was only a single brick stair missing. I still had all 4 doors. I had to go get 3 new trapdoors. Everything's fine. I'm not even going to worry about the villagers. I don't need librarian trades right now. I don't need them. I have everything I need. I wanted to have them all, you know? It's very discouraging, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to continue with our current project, which I'm making really good progress on. I'm working on all of the water channels right now. Let's drop down here real quick. I realized this water channel was too close to the squid cells, so I pushed it back a little bit, and I'm still working on cleaning that up. But it's coming along very nicely. I'm working on all of the delivery systems from every cell, and then I have to go through and close it up like I've been doing right here. You can actually see it a little bit better over here. There's no space for me to walk anymore because I'm darkening the place. I'm filling it in so that nothing can spawn in here, and I'm trying to clean up my mess. So as I go along, I'm bringing all of this stuff along here and over here. The water channel runs right under us right now, and it comes through to here. And I think this is roughly where we're going to build our little storefront. And I've got the other water channels for these cells. They will run along here, back to right here, under the stairs, and they'll run over to here, and then across, and then down, and then across to meet this one, which comes through here. And that's where we're going to bring it in to our storage system. So I've made progress on a few of the cells over here. I still have a lot of work to go. I fell in a hole. As I was saying, I still have a ways to go because there are several more cells that need to be finished over this way. But these shouldn't be too bad because these two right here and those two right there will share a water channel delivery out to the main channel, which I will run under the wheat farm where you can see this trench right here. So I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to finish this all before I update you again. The only reason we're making this update right now is because of the villager debacle. And that's, I'll figure that out in the future. I'm not going to worry about it right now. We have a project to finish today. All of the cells are done. I have 18 cells in place. Almost all of them are full size. I actually expanded this one so it's not quite as tiny, and then I scooched this one over one block because there was a bit of a double block gap here that I was able to utilize to make this one a little tiny bit bigger. So as I said, we have 18 cells that we will be able to get squid, glow squid, and salmon drops from. And I'm going to have to go through periodically and check on the axolotls because I'm also getting some drowned drops. I've already gotten 1 nautilus shell, 2 rotten flesh. I'm a little concerned that our axolotls are going to get attacked back and die. So that's something that I will have to keep an eye on because I'm a little concerned about it. But honestly, if we lose the axolotls and even a handful of cells, we've got 18 of these things. We will have plenty of squid ink and glow ink and salmon to last us the rest of the time that we play in this world. I am not at all concerned about the drop rate. So I'm going to get some roads going in here, and I'm going to get working on our little storefront and storage system. Another quick update to tell you that the roads are finished. All of the cells are covered over, and I really like the way this turned out. I had some issues with the corners here, these curves that I installed, and I'm still not 100% sold on them. Like that right there looks like it just juts out a little too far. I might replace that single piece of concrete dust. I think that this is going to be something that always bothers me, and I will always have to just live with it because it's actually pretty good. I don't hate it, but it's going to be one of those things that I always agonize over, and I always try to perfect, and it's going to be one of those things that just bugs me forever because it's not exactly perfect. But that's fine. That's good enough. And I think that this area over here turned out really, really well. I decided to just go with a hard corner here because I might make like a little, not a road through there, but like a little path, kind of. You know, it might be one of those weird street corners that turns into just like an alleyway or a walking path or something that goes through here. And I think that'd be kind of cool. So I went with a hard corner, and I just went with intersections the rest of the way, just like we had over here. And I think that this is going to make for a really great like little farmer's market. So that's probably what we're going to do over here. And we will continue this road along eventually. It will probably wrap around behind this hill, especially if we do kind of lop off the top of this hill. Because keep in mind, there's a lot of usable terrain back here. And we could make a whole other section of the town back here if we just do something about this hill. Because this little walking path that I talked about would come right back here. And it would look really great to have more city that's just like, oh, there was a giant hill and we did what we could with it. You know, we built another big structure up here. And we managed to terraform this one, but not the other. I don't know. That will all come with time. For now, I'm very satisfied with the roads, as they turned out. And now it's time to get to this little storefront and the storage room that it's going to hide. Don't mind me, there's nothing to see here. Definitely nothing strange going on in here. This is all perfectly normal. This is how this place has always looked. Yes, our perfectly normal Minecraft base. Yes. I believe this task is done. Why don't I take you outside and see what I came up with? My original idea for this place was to make something like a corner bodega. Unfortunately, there's no buildings that it's connected to, and a bodega really only works if it's like the first story of a big row building like this. Don't think I don't see you up there. I'll be back for you. Anyhow, this is what I came up with as a freestanding structure. I really had to grind for that copper. We already had enough copper to make all of this, all of the copper ore that I had mined, but I had to remine it with my fortune pickaxe and then turn it into raw copper and cook it up in all the furnaces that you might have seen inside. And then I had to lay it out all over the place with at least 4 blocks of space in between every single copper block to let it age. Then I had to go grab some honey from our bee farm and wax it. So we've got a lot of work put into such a minor little decoration, but I wanted little awnings and a little bitty roof that was maybe a different color. I wanted to use a bunch of the new blocks, and copper goes so well with prismarine that I decided to use that as an accent feature, along with the acacia fences, which also look great with copper. Welcome inside, and this is just a little bit of an advertisement to let us know what's in here. And then we've got our requisite water elevators leading down into this bean-floored room. I don't know why, but I really like this texture of the raw iron, and I think that it looks great in a lighter colored build like this, and it really accents the color of the chests. So here we are. We've got this all set up. I only have filters built behind this set and this set because I wanted to filter out the squid ink. Over here is going to be everything else that this farm can produce. Mostly that's going to be salmon, but here is a sampling of the drowned drops that we might get. We can get nautilus shells. I think the bone meal also comes from the salmon, and rotten flesh. So, as I said earlier, I'm going to have to periodically check in on each of those cells and make sure that the axolotls haven't been killed by the drowned counterattacking. But I can do that completely off camera. That's a maintenance item that I won't have to keep up with for you. That's something that I will keep up with in my spare time. But anyway, here is all of the glow squid ink and the squid ink that I collected while I was building all of these cells. And this is all the other stuff that I collected. Another fish popping in right now. So this thing's working, it's active, and I'm really happy with this place. Anyhow, now that we've got all that raw fish coming in, both there and from the Guardian farm way out there, we will probably have to build like a fisherman's business at some point so we can trade with the villagers for all the raw fish. But I don't know where I'm going to put that. There's a lot going on here, and I'm really happy with this. I have a confession. I've been working a little bit with mods. It's mostly to make things run smoother. I'm using Starlight and Lithium, which are both fabric-based mods that help the performance of the game. And I'm also using Logical Zoom, which is my replacement for the zoom functionality of Optifine, since Starlight and Lithium aren't compatible with Optifine, or the OptiFabric version. And if you aren't familiar with Logical Geek Boy, who made Logical Zoom, you should check him out. He's fantastic. He's such a great technical Minecrafter, and he has some really fantastic builds and ideas. But the reason I mention those mods is because I'm also using Zero's world map. So we can map our world now. And I love the way that this place looks on a map. Look at these roads. This curved road looks way better on a map than it does looking down from on top of the monastery. And it makes me feel way better about what we've done here for this road. And way less self-conscious about my design work. Because it looks so good over here. And I can't wait to see how this city fills out on this map as we go. So, we're going to work in this area in the near future, building out more of a village area. And then, as I mentioned here, we might take this road around here. We might knock out or make a tunnel through this section of hill. We're probably going to lop off the top of this hill and then make like a path or an alleyway through here. And then we'll probably develop this area into more town area. I would also like to build some stuff over here on the side of the monastery. And we might even stretch out around the shattered savanna over here. But all of that is for the future. For now, I think we've had enough episode for one day. I'll talk to you soon, brother. I miss you.